Still there.
And there's this big trap door
Up
up on the
top.
top that the machine used to, the elevator brought in, what, corn? Wheat?
Put it in the...
No, it's oats. What?
Oh, oats.
Oats. And through that trap door, but here this is Jim, I think, on top of the roof. And I don't know if they're taking the ladder away or what the deal is. Here is a picture of our grandmother and our Aunt Jane. And I think this is right on Grove Street. Her house on Grove Street. And you know this hired man. I don't know his name. I'll show it to you. You know his name. There's your father.
I recognize that picture.
And there's Fritz. And there's our cats. There's Fritz. There's the separator. I think that's all I could find, and I know there's a lot more.
Cool.
I have to show them to you.
Yes.
You make it through?
Yep.
Else I can move.
Yep. Did you have a 22?
22 single shot.
Single shot 22. And I don't know, I think I must have been about, what, 4 or 5? So that would have put you about 10 or 11. Maybe I was older.
We're 4 years apart.
Yeah. So if I was 5, then, no, you'd have to be older. You had to be older than that. You would look like you're about 11 or 12. I could ride a bike, so I don't know. There you are riding a bike. Remember, didn't she have morning glories in that? It was an old wash stand or something.
Right, wooden, like
Tub?
a wooden
Tub or something.
Yeah.
And she always used to have morning glories
Right.
on her trellis,
Right.
right there. And here you are with that gun again. There's Fritz. Horse's name was Lady.
Right. And the dog's real name was Snicklefritz.
Snicklefritz.
Schnickelfritz, that's...
Yeah, there I am with the horse now. This
That's what we
doesn't
call our
look
new
like
grandson.
this doesn't look like
Really?
the Chev,
Yeah.
but
It doesn't, does it?
Oh, he's something
it's
else.
more like a Packard or something.
You know, the new life is always such a miracle.
Okay, there we must have been, now that looks like the Chev, doesn't it?
So they're on vacation right now.
Sure, that's it.
Keith and Lynn and Benjamin are out at Lake Francis by Annandale.
Okay, now here's
They
this
got a
picture.
cabin there on Lake Francis for
You
a
see
week.
her swollen cheek?
Yeah, we were out there a day.
There's Harold, and that's, isn't that Arnold Daig?
We get over there and talk.
Well,
This is a generation, not mine.
Oh, well, I don't know anybody here. These were the Heinz girls, weren't they?
Mildred, Verna Bell,
Okay,
Lois.
this is Lois, isn't it?
I'd have to look at it real close.
Lois, and then Myron, and me, and Joyce. But I don't know who were the other boys in your school.
There were the Schindel boys. There were the,
Yeah, but they weren't there yet because we're only in first grade.
okay.
The reason I know-
Alan Shearer.
Nope. This is first grade. It's gotta be because Alan Shear is not here yet. It's just Myron and me and Joyce. Okay? Because here's a picture of us.
I put it in wrong.
That's Joyce and you.
This is Joyce, Myron, and me. And that's first grade. So you're fifth grade because you're 4 years ahead.
There was a time when we only had five students in our class.
In the whole school.
In the whole,
Well, then that must have been before Myron, Joyce, and I started.
Boy, that'd be a good one.
well, no, this was the time when, just before Shears came in.
Well,
We were looking forward to Alan and Jim Shearer.
well, they're not there yet.
No,
That's the year before that.
that's when our father was talking about
Closing.
closing the school.
Okay, now you've graduated. And there's Joyce, and Myron and Alan and me and Galen and Ronald Schendel.
Schendel.
And this was Joanne Gronowski. No, Levon Radel. No, I don't know. Levon Radel? Who's that?
I'd have to get it closer.
But that's not Myron Velo, is it?
This is Myron Velo right
Oh,
here.
okay.
And that's Joyce, and that's Galen, and that's Alan, and that's Ronald. Me. And that must be Levon. I don't know. There's Snickle Fritz.
Who named that dog?
I don't know who named the dog. You? Grandpa Doma?
No,
Yeah,
our mother.
Oh, our mother, yeah. Okay. Now this picture, I don't know when it was taken, but if John died in September of 40, so this has got to be 39 or whatever, 38. Dad, John, and then there's you.
Oh, yeah.
That was our show off our trucks.
Yeah. And there's Jim, and remember Gus
Oh, sure.
and Harold. Look at all the celery. That's the old chicken coop. And I think these are
That's all they
snowbanks by Beams.
Oh, you
I
got
bet it
gold,
was.
huh?
Mm-hmm.
And
That's all right.
this was this picture. I remember that.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, that our father was so upset when John died. Of course he was. But then he kept talking about, telling me, you remember when we had our picture taken and each one of us had a truck? Like this was a short wheelbase and this is a long wheelbase. I think it was anyway.
Half a century.
And this
More than that.
was the one in the van,
There's a section, isn't it?
Big box on it.
rocks on
60
it.
years.
Delivering in the wintertime.
So he remembers taking the picture and
Yeah,
wishing that could be
probably.
back that time.
This is just all emotional. This is picture. It's. Remember when you came home from the service and he growled at you until you took off your army uniform?
I remember
Remember
that.
that?
That was changing with his old
Yeah.
clothes.
But then when you took off your army uniform, it was all different. This is the one I was telling Barb about.
That'd be funny.
And I wrote on here, boy, I took one. Mom was cleaning your bedroom. Notice the rug. And then you wrote, and it's got, these pictures were in an awful book, something about spring tooth, my spring tooth and some tractor. And it looks like you're writing.
That's Dad's writing. Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Bring
but that's Dad in the tractor, and then,
Harold.
the hard part.
was that with a hard part?
That's what I remember. That
And is that a disc or something?
that's a spring tooth.
What's that? Is that a spring? Is that a plow?
Well, it's just
That
like
the
my
one that
hand.
went on the G?
And
Would,
you set it into the ground.
so it's like a plow.
Kind of
Well,
like
generally,
a hot Harold, maybe.
And anyway,
Whatever.
I'm not much of a
Cultivator.
farmer, I guess. Here's the, see that rug? She's cleaning your room, and she must open the window up, and she's shaking your rug, and there's a rug hanging out the window.
This is a bigger.
Here.
Remember that?
yeah, I can.
And my bedroom was over this little flat part of it, so that would have been
I
my
still have that there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes.
I dug a lot of that stuff
Your
up.
room there,
Stuff.
there was a
There's a
window.
lot of stuff almost.
You could take it out.
yeah, and you could crawl out and on that little,
Yeah.
so it would have been a bump, so you could walk on that.
We could walk on that.
Yeah. Was it still there when you guys lived there, Barb?
Yes.
Sure.
But we weren't supposed to walk on it because we would make the roof leak, we were told.
Oh.
But we thought, well, why not? There's even a kind of a fence around it. So to us, that seemed like a perfect patio.
You know, you must have climbed up on the silo or something to take this picture of Fritz.
I took that picture in the haymow.
Oh, in the haymow. I think maybe you were supposed to take a picture of this horse.
She was
But all you
sitting
got
on,
is the rear end of it, yeah.
So what are we looking at, Dad? What direction from the haymow?
Well, there's I'd have to look at it closer. But the chicken house should be over here.
Okay.
Right here.
Uh-huh.
That's there yet.
Oh, because there's no onion warehouse there yet.
No,
So I think the greenhouse should be about right here.
right.
Mm-hmm.
But I would go up in the haymow and I would whistle like for Fritz, and he couldn't see me. I probably would pound on the
Yeah.
building, and then he'd look up and he'd see
That's
me.
probably why you took that picture. And then here's a picture I was telling Barb.
we should
You
feed
wanted
Jerry
electric.
So he can give a little
You wanted
I'm
electric.
hungry.
Gas.
If you want to, you can cut some watermelon, Ben, and I'm almost done. I think you wanted,
Like a
you had gas?
Gas.
Oh,
Well, I've been doing that pretty good.
So
It feels so good.
Well, one time, this is on the side of the house where the bedroom is. One time
I'll
you
sit there
had
and watch
it
TV and have some heavy,
right in the front.
in the front of the house.
Yeah.
she sees it, but then maybe her
Right here.
head went down too, so.
You just moved that off. How'd you move
You
it
had,
with?
you used to have it, one time you had it right there,
Yeah.
didn't you?
You're right. Our mother liked that because she didn't like to walk so far out to take care of the chicken.
Well, you were supposed to take care of them, it was your job.
Well, when I was in school, she
Did you see this picture? She always had to wash the separator.
right. She watched it.
Yeah, and there's a picture of the separator. Do you notice Fritz sure got on these pictures a lot? Now, I don't remember the name of this hired man.
Ed Rivlin.
I have no idea. You could tell me and I wouldn't know. But that's his car too.
Ed Rivlin.
And there's that, I was telling you,
Going
the
back to the moon,
Griffey truck.
2020.
And I think that's Jim
Yeah, well, probably
up
won't
on
see
the
it.
roof of the grain.
So the first time we went,
There you go.
that was good.
Could be, but I doubt whether Jim got up there. But,
Well, then it was Charlie.
2020, that's a long
Maybe it
ways
was
away.
that guy.
Yeah. If I lived that long.
There's
it'd be-
Grandma
Yeah.
and her Aunt
Yeah,
Jean.
94.
And I think this is in the back
Never know,
of her
man.
place on
Yeah.
Grove Street.
You never know.
In her backyard,
because there's the
garage.
garage.
And this was
Next
it
step,
Northrop's that lived behind? Carpenters lived next door and where
We got-
Deans lived
we
on
got,
that side. And Carpenter,
Carpenters live
People
On-
that
on the north
corner.
work at
yeah.
in
Where-
And
Colorado.
Wardeen's shared the the alley, driveway.
I
Right
doubt
off
whether
the
Wardeen
airport.
lives there yet.
And they said they got the satellite built in
Francis
the place where
Oval?
they build the satellites and
Think
stuff.
so.
Yeah.
And
Barb would go out to
I didn't know.
out to
I
South
only knew
Dakota.
Wardeen's.
See
I don't know
Yeah.
what this is.
But Galbert, she
Looks
hung
like
around
a
with
fence, but we never had our yard.
very good guy.
So I
Jack.
don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's
Will-
another fence
Will
and there's a chicken. So
Will
you must
Rogers,
have some
if you
kind of a
don't remember.
fenced
Can't.
area for your
Okay.
chickens.
You sure got a nice sweetheart though.
Oh yeah.
But I tell you, Fritz was well photographed.
She takes after this young lady too. So they're two tied in.
Cats. Okay, that's the end of the pictures I
a
found.
big dog, and he got to sleep in the house in the wintertime.
Except he never went any further than the kitchen.
Couldn't go out of the kitchen, huh?
Never. That dog never went anywhere except in the kitchen.
Like Shuffy was.
Just like Shuffy, he was never allowed
Restricted.
anywhere in the kitchen. And this dog, if it would thunder, or lightning.
Right under a table?
Remember? He'd hide under the table and God, he was gonna die. Well, we got some food we can give you.
I have some pickles out in the car.
Well, been waiting for him.
Only thing I didn't get to
What
do
is
is
it?
bring you
Pickles.
the
Pickle.
potatoes are
Gotta have pickle.
little on the small side. I have to dig too many to bring up.
You know, it is just ridiculous with potatoes when you buy them in the grocery store, and I'm sure you must see how much they are at the. I can't believe that they're any difference in price in Owatonna than they are up here.
They are though.
Yeah.
So you pay about $45 for 100 pounds.
Oh, they'd be more. They're much more than that.
Yeah.
I
about
buy a
16
5
up here.
pound. I buy a 5 pound bag of potatoes. Well, some of them were like $4, and
5 pounds.
for 5 pounds.
That's $200 for a bag.
No, it'd be $8 for 10 pounds, so it's $80.
$80 a bag.
$80 for a 100-pound bag, and we used to sell them when we were kids. They'd sell them for what, $1? How much would it be? Maybe
100-pound
they
bag?
sold. Did they sell them in 50-pound bags?
Well, they were 100-pound bags.
100-pound bags. How much did they sell them for?
$3.
I don't even
How
know.
much? Well,
3.
like selling out to the truck to Gamble Robins, they're probably 65 cents a 100.
Yeah.
Well, that was
Different time.
big money back then,
That's
though.
right.
Well, it was, you know. It was big money.
But you know, it just to this day it still
Yeah.
just kills me. Or to buy a bag of carrots.
Pickles are arriving.
That's the way it is.
Wow.
But anyway, there's some real memories in here.
Yeah.
I got some other pictures, like when we moved in. I've got one book with a lot of pictures of Tommy and Larry that you would recognize. Time to eat.
I can pull this.
Time to eat. Time to eat. Oh, I love pickles, Bart. You don't know how I love pickles.
Well, good. I'm glad you love pickles. We
Does
have
it work
pickles.
down there?
Well, it
And I
keeps track how
did
far
that.
I go.
Okay, yeah, I wear mine up here. I put,
I figure I get better mileage than I figure.
yeah,
Yeah. It's more accurate. I think. I don't know.
well, you're probably right. I wear mine around, I've been doing it like, around working and stuff and see how many steps I do in a day.
How many?
I do more than 10,000, sometimes 14.
Well,
Then I go for my walk, then I put another 6,000 and 7,000 on.
so you can do 20,000 steps.
Yeah.
I got
a
you
day-
some
I got
a day.
iced tea and water.
How many miles is
Aren't
that?
they great?
They are just great because
Oh gosh,
You can
I
grab them.
forgot what the
And
chart
they're
said how many.
square, so they fit your
it's
Steps
in
per
my
mile.
refrigerator just
It's about
fine.
12 miles.
Yeah. About right.
Because, you know, if you figure a step at
Aren't old
a yard,
pictures
This
great?
Right.
Paulson.
you're 70, 60, and
I have to
Mile.
interrupt your
if you're
reminiscing
doing
for a
20,000,
minute. You
70, 60 by a
don't wanna lose your place.
12.
it doesn't matter.
All right. Yeah.
Not 12 miles.
It's
That's
okay.
a good hike.
I showed Bart that. I said, look, you follow me.
Yeah.
Well, I had to go from one side to the warehouse,
Yeah.
all the way back in the other side.
Yeah.
You hop on the gale to
Oh,
load
you're talking about
the carrots
exercise.
up, and then go all the way back up front again. Every 15 minutes I do it. You're walking back and forth. You taking drugs, Jerry?
Yeah, we're drugging them up, just like Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Not exactly.
Not exactly, no.
Yeah.
He did some things that were not.
Yeah. I don't know. There sure was a lot of hoopla about that. I couldn't get into it too much.
It was like this generation's version of Elvis.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Man,
I just had to say I'd rather honor
I think he's
a
dead.
soldier
I swear to
from
God,
that died in Iraq than
he's not here. I can help. He's not dead. He just loves to ignore me. Yeah.
I just know this meat goes with pickles real well.
Good. You know, maybe on that picture of that one guy those two guys in that picture of when you're in the school, and maybe one of them was Elmer Sorensen.
He'd have been in class with our brother.
Oh, okay, then that would have been.
Lorraine and Beatrice Hines. And Elmer Sorensen and
Oh,
John were all
oh,
grade
okay.
together.
That's a big grade for back then.
You bet.
Yeah.
And Harold Yank was in there, but they held him back because he was too young.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Because your brother was 2 years ahead of you, or more than that?
4.
Oh, really?
Yeah. John graduated in 40, he graduated in 44, and I graduated in 48.
Okay.
But for going to a country school, we were really lucky that there were kids that were, there were 4 of them, 2 boys, 2 girls,
In your class.
that went through 8th grade, and that's pretty good for country school. That there should be that many in one class.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there were 3 of them in your class, weren't there? You and Jim Shear and somebody.
Richard Weber.
Richard Weber, yeah.
Do you think that the parents ever just held some kids back so they could have a bigger class?
Well, I don't know about that, but I know some parents push their kids
So they'd be all in class together.
so they'd be all in class
Oh.
That's what Harold Yank got showed in the first grade when,
when he wasn't ready.
So you would have been like 4 or 5 years old?
yeah.
That's pretty little, because, you know, when you think of a 4 or 5 year old, that's pretty, well, I was 5 when I started first grade, I turned
Wow.
6 until November.
My grandchildren, they hold them back
Right?
Yeah,
as much as they can for an extra year.
yeah,
You see, as Michael and Anna.
yeah. We held Michael back, he was still
they got
IBB,
the
yeah.
good football players, wrestlers.
Yeah.
It makes a difference too.
It did, I was glad, because he just got along fine, because he was older.
So now, ready for bread? You guys gotta
Sure.
speak up. You gotta
I'm-
speak up. We got all kinds of food in the kitchen.
I'm good for now.
Me too.
Pick some beef, I had turkey last night.
Good.
So you were 5 when you started first grade, so
You gotta have
you
the
didn't
pickle
go to,
then.
Yes.
You got
There
it.
was no
Yeah,
kindergarten.
you went to country school.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yeah.
So I was 17 when I graduated from high school.
You were early bird.
Mm-hmm.
For that age, because
Yeah, I was one of the
Wow.
youngest in my class.
I was,
I was 17 too.
So they were
In
16.
fact, I was in the Navy before I was 18.
Is that legal? I think we should.
Yeah, it was legal.
So you
Another
couldn't
month.
go to
I was in
nursing.
boot camp. when
yeah,
I
that's
turned
why
18.
well, I was 16. I turned 17 the same week that I graduated from high school.
So you were really young
She
too
was
then.
I was
Yeah.
really young.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you could have grown a couple more inches after you graduated. Because I did grow an inch after I graduated.
Well, but there's a case where my folks pushed me because Myron and Joyce were starting,
Well, that was the way you had more kids in one class.
right?
And you were so highly intelligent they could obviously easily do that.
Obviously.
They needed someone to teach those kids.
Right. You got it figured, guys.
But we were conscious of this. That they said you're gonna go in and
You're right. Got nothing of it. And then the teacher roomed and boarded at our house.
1 year.
So you had an extra bedroom then, huh?
Teachers room, we call it.
Was that Miss Hallberg? No. Edith Jaroshik.
It is Jerusalem.
Which room did you put her in?
She must have been in the room, like your room.
Okay.
girls from where I was.
Yep.
I don't know where I was. Where did I sleep? I don't know.
Because they wouldn't have the teacher sharing a room with a
No.
student, would they?
Well, I think I was little. I don't think I ever had her.
Who?
Edith Joshik. But did I have her first grade? I don't remember.
I can't remember first grade agreement.
Can't you really? I can remember the first day. I was so excited to be there. I wanted to learn to read.
School that I was gonna go into.
I learned the,
To the
the
ground.
word red the
I
first
watched
day.
it. I
R-E-D,
The
yeah.
following next year I go to school.
I was
I
so
watched it.
excited.
Oh,
Started reading and never stopped.
I'm not gonna get to go to school.
They put up a new school.
Well, what started the fire? Did they ever figure out?
I
I
don't.
started school in Mora.
Now you're
Oh.
from Faribault?
That's where David Stroba teaches.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
What?
I
Where?
started school in Mora.
That's where David Stroba teaches. That's where he lives.
I think when we moved to Aiken, it must have been third grade.
This guy went. I think he lived in about, what, 6 towns?
Mora, Aiken, Brainerd. Okay.
He's like a gypsy. Grew up
Yeah,
with
his
gypsy.
dad was a creamery. Operated creameries,
Mhm.
ran creameries. And I think when he came over from Denmark, his dad came over from Denmark, I think he was in business with a brother-in-law in a creamery. And then he started his own in another town. And then they went to Wisconsin, so.
So he just moved around from creamery
Yeah.
to creamery then.
And that must have been awfully hard for him.
I don't know who it is.
So did you
Number I don't recognize.
So
He'll
you-
leave a message.
so you really appreciate butter, don't you?
Oh yeah. I learned to wrap it and eat it.
You would enjoy touring the whole creamery. It's
Yeah, I
one
was-
creamery
I
and
always wanted to do
I always
that.
wanted to do
Yeah.
that. And I'll tell you when we really got the idea was 2-3 years ago at my high school class reunion. Claire McCrosty and Ted Peller got a little bit late to the luncheon because they had gone out to Hope to get
City Creamery.
to buy butter and got fooling around out
Lovely,
there in the
yeah.
creamery. And then it was written up in the Minneapolis paper maybe a year or so ago about this Hope Creamery.
let's see how they do it. It's still
You never
old
went to
in there.
Hope? To
Probably
the,
just the way you
to the
remember it.
dances that they had
Yeah.
upstairs
They
above
hire
the
tech
Hope?
now, as far as
The creamery?
that's the no, it's not. And
We
that's
take
Where the stick
butter out
My
of the
parents,
churn,
my folks
put
had
it in big
shackles
wooden
of
box.
them.
I'm sorry.
it's close to
guys.
that.
They,
Big wooden
my
box.
folks just.
You had a frame you put on
I
top,
remember
top, put it in
one
the
year.
corner, and the bottom of the box would slide up. You crank it up like an old piano stool. And come up through this wire
What's his
frame.
name? What's
Then
the
you take that
is
wire
it Alan
thing.
Terpstra?
Pull it
Yeah,
across.
Alan Terpstra.
You had
Alan
problems with butter.
Terpstra,
It's
Was a
close to
little
what they
older
do
than
there
we
because they
were.
still use a
Uh-huh.
but
starter.
he had stayed home to help
And
on
so
the
it's
farm.
a longer
And
process,
so
which is why
he
it's
was
more expensive
behind
to make it
in
batches.
school.
Because like Land O'Lakes and those
So I
places, they
think
just
was
it's
with
a
us
continuous process.
in the
This is
class.
they let it the flavor develop,
One year,
which is why it's different.
maybe he was the same
Butter.
grade
No,
level
that's
as
why it's
Betty,
expensive.
his younger sister.
It's close
And then
to
there
what
was
they do now.
the
Take
seal
out the pounds,
coolers.
put it on a piece of parchment, and wrap it.
And
I
they
think they
weren't
have a
in our
machine
school.
that
They
helps
went to a
wrap
different
the
school
structure
than I
around
did.
it.
But I
But it's
kind of
still
got to know.
cut in pieces like that.
And Alan Terpstra called up and wanted to know if I could go to a movie with
Yeah.
him. He was apparently old enough that he could drive a car. But Betty was going and Lucille was
I used
going.
to
It
watch
wasn't a
Lotto.
date.
Or rotating
And I can remember
round
it.
brushes.
You know, big deal. I could go.
Remember when they used to put
Father
milk in
wouldn't
bottles?
let me
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
That's how
We'd
it
wash
was.
them.
That's how mean he
Then we
was.
trisodium
You don't
soap.
even remember that, do you, Jerry?
empty them and put them over in the rinse water, sterilize them.
But then I got to move to town
And put 'em in.
stayed in town with my grandma.
No waste.
And that was
No waste.
No
freedom.
Remember
Finally.
Finally.
running a pasteurizing machine, filling them with milk, and then rotating it, putting paper caps on.
You're not eating very much, Jerry.
I think
Why not
I
passing it?
I'm gonna have watermelon.
Well, I got some, that was supposed to be a
14,
part of
15.
your,
This is,
This
yeah,
is
I
supposed
can
to-
have some watermelon.
but this
On a
is a
farm,
dessert.
kids
Do you
are
want some
working on-
watermelon?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I'm gonna give you a Rice Krispie bar for dessert.
well, I don't have such a heaping dish.
But you do want some? I'll
They're
get-
skinny pieces, so.
No,
They're little skinny
that's
pieces.
something, that's something,
That's a little skinny piece, you want that?
no, that's fine.
There's a lot of pieces there. Didn't give him a very big one.
Well, yeah, Dad likes to have small amounts so he doesn't feel too full. So I'm just handing it for you to take one
I'd
and
like
I'll
to be
set
able
it
to
back
taste
down. Dad has
different
his.
foods.
Okay.
I got a big one. I gotta get some more cheese.
There's plenty there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Can't go wrong with cheese. I love cheese.
What is it?
So Hope had their 25th anniversary. Was it 20? No, 50th. 50th anniversary.
150th.
Oh, 105th. That's it. I couldn't remember what it
The
was.
town of Hope?
Yes, 150.
So what did they do?
They just had an open house,
Open house?
and
Well,
everybody
Town
was
had
set
an open
up.
house.
Yeah, the whole town did.
It was a
That'd been
festival.
fun.
It was a festival thing.
Yeah.
So they had tours of the creamery and
That was my favorite, the creamery, because I never knew that it had an upstairs like it did.
And you said they used to have dances upstairs.
They had dances and they had programs up there.
Do you remember doing anything in Hope?
Genevieve and I went to dance there.
Okay.
Jurgen Nash, remember Bill?
Jurgen Nash on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Remember him on the radio? Why?
Well, he was an announcer at
Oh, he was like an MC at
KDHL.
yeah. Oh,
That's where the
Really?
name's familiar.
Jurgen Nash. Yeah.
I
I
didn't
kind of
realize
remember
that.
that. Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
What I can't understand is I can remember these names
Yeah.
from 40, 50 years ago, but I'll be darned if I can think of the name of somebody that
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, I
that
know.
just sat.
Next to or visited with the
Well, it's
same
easy.
way.
I meet someone and they tell me their name and I forget it right away. How about you?
I
You
don't
ever had
want.
that
I
happen?
don't want to admit that.
Did you
but
ever
yeah.
watch Axel and his dog when you were little
Axel's. Is he the treehouse?
in the treehouse?
Yeah. And a
Calling
nurse.
Calling card. And do you remember Carmen the nurse?
Yes.
Well, Carmen the nurse goes to our church.
She does.
She sits in
And
front of
she
us.
sits in front of us every Sunday in church. Her name is Mary Davies. And she's just as silly now as she was when she was Carmen the nurse.
Because you know what I think? You guys just know all these famous people. Because I think about Amy Klobuchar.
Next door over
It's
here.
this next
Yeah.
door. I probably played with her when I used to
Could
come up
be.
and visit you guys.
Okay.
Because I remember Klobuchar's lived next door.
Huh?
So
We have a picture. Well, we just gave it to
So
Keith.
what happened to Axel?
Axel, Axel
Phone card.
calling card
I don't know when he died.
kept it. I don't remember when he died, but I know that
It was a big.
he kept it very quiet that he was not that he was ill. I think he had cancer or something.
It was cancer.
And he kept it very private. But he kept doing the show, unbelievably, and
Birdie with a yellow bill.
a birdie with a yellow bill hopped upon my windowsill, caught the shiny eye, and said, "Good morning." I'm sorry. You didn't know. I'm sorry. There's part of me you don't know.
I love it. Hey, just keep going, don't quit.
Anyway, she's told how he died, and the show had. What do you want,
Jerry?
What do you want?
Cheese, good stuff. Swiss there.
He likes the Swiss something
And
strong.
did you want Swiss? Oh,
Swiss
I'm
is
sorry.
stronger. You might want that.
This is Swiss. You want Swiss?
That's stronger?
Yeah.
Good.
And she was the one that had to go on the next morning, and tell the kids. And she very honestly
I
told them.
remember that.
I do not.
And she said that was the hardest thing she ever did in her life.
Yeah.
But to
Because
tell
these
the
were
kids.
live shows, weren't they?
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
live shows. They couldn't afford. In fact, I just
didn't
threw an
have tape
article
machines.
away. Darn it, it might even be. I'll bet you I still got it. They were interviewing Don Stoltz, who is he's our age now, and he runs what they call the Old Log Theater here, and he's had this Old Log Theater out in Excelsior for probably 25, 30 or years or more, maybe 50. But he was he was the sound or the voice for the animals on the Colin Card show. He never saw his face, but he was always the voice.
The puppets.
Yeah. In fact, I probably still got it in there. And then he was talking, I think as he was interviewed, they were saying how Mary Davies, Carmen, was brought on just as an extra and kept staying, and pretty soon she was almost the show.
Wow.
In fact, I think she was the show, wasn't she, after Carmen?
Well, I thought I remember. See, you know what? I was so little, I don't think I knew he died. Because I thought I remembered she was on the show, and I wondered where he was. So I maybe never asked anybody, or no one told me. I just probably wondered, why is just the nurse on the show now? And so I was so little, I think it's just a faint memory.
I'd sit there and I'd be waiting. Where's Axel? What is she doing there all the time?
Yeah.
The nurse.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember the kids watching that show.
He must have been doing it right up until the day he died. So that means he must have been awfully sick. Wow.
Yeah.
Back then, cancer treatment was pretty, I'm sure it was very primitive compared to what it is now.
And they probably just, didn't have these years or these months of lingering.
I mean, remission and all that stuff. It was just,
Time to go while you went.
Well, I gotta get up. I want coffee. Does anybody drink coffee here?
Yes,
You do. Okay.
I can help you.
I just read on the magazine on the way up. I bring the magazine every wherever I go. It said 3 cups of caffeine per day reduces your risk of dementia by 70%.
What?
The girls at work are always teasing me because I'm always giving them these statistics because they're teasing me about my coffee drinking habits. And they go, I suppose you have an answer for that one too, don't you? And I'm, yep, let me quote the statistic.
You must have read the same article that Pam did, because Pam is a big coffee drinker. And every time she drinks a cup, she said, here's to dementia.
Here's to my Alzheimer's. And the other one is that you need to drink so many glasses of water a day, and you read studies that say coffee counts as your liquid, because they're saying, Barb, you need to drink more water. I do drink water. I just have a little coffee grounds in it.
But coffee still is
A diuretic.
diuretic.
But it said
it's
not enough. It's not an 8 ounce worth of diuretic to.
No.
I drink other stuff
Depends how
besides
strong
coffee.
it
It's just
is.
that it's fun to tease.
Tell you
about
what though, there was for a while he was drinking straight decaf, and I couldn't handle it, and so I was drinking the regular. Now after a couple of years now, we have compromised, so we are drinking half and half. So you're only going to get half the decaf.
That's okay. I drink decaf later in the day
Okay.
anyways.
Well,
so.
this is half.
This is called the compromise coffee.
Yeah. I drink
So
cup-
that
cup
you have half the
comp
chance of
coffee.
getting dementia that the rest of us do.
I won't get it quite as
I
bad.
have to show you something. This is the neatest thing.
Okay. What's that?
I gotta show Barb my candle.
Oh, look at that candle with no
See that
smoke. That is.
Doesn't that look like a?
It even has a black smoke on the glass.
Doesn't that
I'll
look
blow
like?
it out.
Yeah, you blow it out. Doesn't that look like a regular
Well, it
candle?
does because you got the black
Just
soot
won't go.
on the
Savannah
thing
would
and
just
everything.
have a blast with that.
Yeah.
And it looks like a real.
You're not getting black soot on your ceiling.
No.
That's great. It even flickers.
Plus
Yeah,
you're not
flickers.
getting,
Go sit.
you're not getting the
Where'd you
heat.
get that?
I'm
Where do we get?
right, and I got it at Kohl's. Remember?
Oh.
There's about 2 or 3 of them in that little pack,
Yeah.
and then Pam wanted one so bad that I gave her one of them.
You know, you could put a little essential oil on there to get
Yeah.
the scent, you know, and you'd be good to go.
More ways to fool a person nowadays, huh?
Do you want our plates out there too, or you?
You have, there's more to come.
Oh, yeah. That, you know,
Is
watermelon.
there a battery in there?
Yeah, a little bit of a little battery, yeah. And it kind of flickers like a regular candle. Yeah. Like I got battery for my ear deep,
Oh,
so I can hear everybody.
At the same time?
Yeah, hear them all at the same time. Yeah, they're usually talking all at the same time.
oh, jeepers.
Oh yeah. Well, we have fun anyway.
This is good tasting watermelon. I bought Jerry and watermelon. I didn't like what didn't have no flavor to it.
It's pretty good. You want any more?
Not right now.
Okay. I'm gonna have one more. That'll fill me up, believe me.
Didn't you used to eat blue cheese?
I love blue cheese. Yeah. I like it. It's good. Good stuff. I like blue cheese. I like pickled herring. And my wife doesn't want to even be around when I'm eating it. If I eat pickled herring, I have to go out in the corner of the kitchen.
Is that right?
And go over in another corner. Pickled herring is like candy. Oh, it's so good.
Is it yours gone now, Jerry?
Been gone for several weeks.
No, I did. We just got you some pickled herring. I
You
just
must
got
be-
it.
You're sneaking it all the time, huh? Oh,
Just last week you got it. That's okay. You don't need to remember it. Just eat it.
I got a big jar of pickled herring from Pam, Kurt's wife,
Mm-hmm.
for Father's Day. She's a Swede and she likes pickled herring too. So Danes and Swedes agree on that anyway.
Well, Billy claims that his wife won't even let him put it in the refrigerator.
Yeah, right. Not too bad. You'd have to say he's an abused husband, huh? Oh, yeah. Well, that goes right.
I get to have smoked carp in my.
Yeah,
my
that's-
fridge.
Any smoked fish is good. I was raised on smoked herring.
Yeah.
Even that, you used to put, my mother would make these open-faced sandwiches, you know, on a real dark bread, real thin dark bread. And she put sliced eggs on there, and then a strip of anchovy. And real salty, you know.
Yeah.
Boy, was that good on the sliced eggs.
Wow.
Good stuff. Of course, in Denmark, they eat fish all the time. When we were there, gosh, 4 years ago. Was that 4 years or 5 years? Quite a while. We had a lot of fish. A lot of fish. They fix herring in all sorts of different ways. Smoked eel. Yeah. My dad lived on a coastal town, on a fjord. I don't know, I think he'd probably go fishing down in the harbor on the fjord. As a kid. Of course, I wasn't there then, but I came along later.
Mm-hmm.
Think of all the generations, of all the people that made us. It's kind of a mind-boggling thing to think about. It's also a great mystery to me. A great mystery.
Because this world has changed so much.
It's changed a lot, yes. More people. More and more people. You just wonder, where does it all end? Huh? Well, they say in a few billion years, why the earth will burn up. So, because our sun is going to expand,
Yeah.
and the earth will be burned up. Of course,
The guy wants to make sure he's got insurance paid up.
well, 2 billion years down the road, I don't care. I just don't care.
You don't care if you got your insurance paid
Nah.
up. You'll be sorry.
Yeah. 2 billion years down the road, yeah.
Who's gonna collect it?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
My father wouldn't let it get away from him.
He would be right there. I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have any. Don't have to worry about
I
it.
don't need to worry then.
Nope, I just
Yeah.
turn it all over to Barb. I don't have to worry.
Yeah. No, that's the way to do it. Yeah. Yeah, when I get my telescope out, I can sit and watch those stars.
You do it right here?
Sure. Except there's too many trees now, they got so big.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the best place to go is out on a golf course.
Is that what you do?
I have done it, yeah. Not much anymore.
We have a club in Owatonna,
Oh, I'm sure they do.
and they got different places that they go.
Oh, yeah.
And they were going to use my hill on the Kramer farm, but I don't know what happened. All of a sudden,
What a Kramer farm, is that the one over by the ditch?
the one we were going to make the golf course at, remember?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I see.
Never going to do that.
Yeah.
Don't have time.
When you get started, you don't have to finish it all in one year.
I can't get started.
That's the biggest job. They started. Yeah, to build a golf course is a pretty.
Well, the way things are going nowadays, there's too many golf courses
Yeah.
now, and they're not being used.
And so they don't get so many customers to support their budget. The
Right.
budget is the same, so they have to charge more then.
Mm-hmm.
It's a silly system.
That's great. But the stuff we can do now, babies that we never would have thought of with our kids.
Hey, what do
Would you
know?
like one of these?
Sure.
I got bigger ones and littler ones.
I'm going to be bringing out Pinocchio.
Coffee's coming in a minute.
Bringing up, you know. Hey, listen, I don't think I've made that since I was a little girl.
Made what?
Some kind of.
I'll show you what it's talking about.
All right.
I bet she takes a big one too.
Well, we sampled them out in the kitchen to make sure they were
I'm sure
good.
you did.
They're good. They're fine.
They're edible, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
We want to make sure.
It's safe, huh?
Yeah, it's safe. We
Okay.
didn't want to serve you something
Well,
that
right.
was not servable.
You know, The king always had, what did he
His
call them?
tasters, his monkeys.
Yeah, he had the servant that tasted the food
That's
for
right.
him
Kind of a
to
hazardous
be sure it
job.
wasn't poison.
Mhm.
Yeah. What did he call him? There was a special name for the taster. I forget what it was.
Hey, Mikey.
I don't know.
There was a name for him.
I bet you're right. What was it, Dad? We're just talking about memories you can remember from stuff.
That's what he's talking about, Barb. He's talking about this. Aren't you?
Ooh.
This was my cookbook from Jane,
Oh, yeah.
1938.
You wanna hold it up like this and show it at the camera?
What camera? Are you having a camera going? Well, anyway, this is the book, Barb, that I got from my Aunt Jane in 1938, so I am now 7 years old. And I remember
71 years
cooking
ago.
for my brother Jerry. And I made choo-choo salad.
Choo-choo.
Do you remember the choo-choo salad?
Not too good.
How could you forget my choo-choo salad? It's in here somewhere.
There it is.
Oh, it was see, it's choo-choo salad. And it was 4 large raw carrots, a couple raisins, and some orange juice and some lemon, and you mixed it all up. You had
Did you like it?
well, I
It
don't
doesn't sound like a salad a little kid would like eating.
And then, this is what he liked. And that's what he just said right now. This was a candy with brown sugar. Wasn't that what you were just talking about, that
Pinocchio, huh?
Panucci or whatever it was?
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, that's what he's talking about.
It had honey in it.
Did you made it many times?
You bet. Can you see how dirty the thing is?
Did you make everything that was in the book?
Nope. Like bran muffins or Mama's cornmeal. Yuck.
She sounds like a 7-year-old.
We probably made this tapioca pudding. You can almost tell what we made from how dirty the pages are.
Well, Dad likes tapioca pudding in this day, so.
Yep. In fact, I think I even got tapioca. Oh, coffee. That's a detail
You want
coffee.
me to help you carry something?
I can carry.
Okay.
Oh, you're going to spoil him, aren't you?
I know. Don't get used to it, Uncle Ben.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's nice. Be spoiled.
Sure is. It's one of the dangers of being alive.
I'm having a hard time sitting up here right now. I like being home, watching things grow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can appreciate that. It's a great privilege. Yeah. I have one more of these. Coffee will be along any minute now, and I'll be ready for it. Oh,
You know,
yeah.
for the 4th of July this year, they came out with marshmallows that are huge. Did you
Is there?
see those?
No.
They are huge,
I've
like
never
this
seen
big. And we made s'mores with them.
Oh, they would probably fall over on a graham
We
cracker.
put it
This is your
together,
cup, Uncle
Yeah.
Ben.
and it would surround the chocolate
Ooh.
and melt it. It was-
I've never seen. You got them in the grocery store?
The
Hy-Vee had a
marshmallows,
promotion.
they were
I've
just-
never.
Big
I've never
marshmallow.
seen-
Dude, they were so big. It took you had to be patient to roast them. But after they were roasted, when you put them between the graham crackers with that, you had to use the big square of chocolate.
Yeah.
But the chocolate melts because there's so much marshmallow
much
there.
thick
It's
heat.
delicious.
But
They're-
wouldn't you think that they would have seen that promotion in the city? But I never.
Oh, I bet you guys have them someplace.
Well,
'Cause they're
They
in
were
our
there.
they're in all of our grocery
Hy-Vee
stores.
stores have them.
We have no IVs here.
Mm.
You don't have a Hy-Vee and you don't have a Walmart close by. So what are your stores that you have here?
Cub.
Cub Foods
Rainbow.
would have them because Cub is a byproduct of or is
Super
a,
Value.
Okay.
so that
Super
so
Value.
cash wise, and so I would think they would have them.
Cash-wise belongs to...
Cash-wise and Cub, I think, are the same.
From Super Value? Because Super Value is the mother.
And that's what, I think so.
And they're the ones that bought out Albertsons from Texas.
You did.
Super Value did?
Mm-hmm.
Albertsons got bought out?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Coffee's just right.
Good.
Mhm.
The only time I ever ran across Hy-Vee was when George and I did that Faribault shopping center. There was a Hy-Vee store there.
Yeah,
There's no Hy-Vees in
Just
this.
put that in the hot water and put it in the microwave and heat it up.
Yes.
You don't have to, but you should put it in your coffee.
Amaretto, I drink it, but I don't drink amaretto.
Have you tasted it?
Not lately. I think isn't this taste a little bit like a liqueur? Yeah, and I don't care for it because it's a liqueur tasting. I like the French vanilla or the
I
cinnamon.
hate to tell you this, but there's a little amaretto coffee grounds in there.
No, I can't taste it in
I-
there. This is
I think that's what I'm sitting there
no, this is fine. This tastes good. This has a nice and smooth.
I like my coffee black.
I
always liked my coffee black until I started drinking this. And it's got a little flavor
You
to
guys
it.
are corrupted.
Yeah.
I know it.
Well, I just
It's okay.
think coffee has a nicer color when it's nice.
I put milk in my coffee a lot, but there's have you ever done? There's a one that's called cinnamon
Yeah.
something.
Yes, in fact, I think
Cream,
Lynn
cinnamon
had
cream.
cinnamon something. There's so many.
Yeah.
I think she had about three different ones on there. I saw this there, and when I got this out, I want to know if your daughter made you any more sauerkraut soup so she could feed it to the cats. Every time I look at this book, I think of Barb with sauerkraut soup.
I gave up.
And somewhere in here,
Debbie made some for Jerry.
was it
Was it right?
right?
Yeah.
You remember when Debbie made some? Bill brought it out for you. Debbie made some.
It wasn't perfect.
It wasn't perfect. He's being very, very polite about that.
You're a
Apparently it
movie
wasn't.
camera.
Yeah. But you know, here,
Can't
there was
compete
another
with
one
this,
in here that made me think of
No.
our dad. Garlic soup. Because I
That'd be
think
good.
he made garlic soup.
Really.
Really. Ooh.
Well, it's kind of like an onion, isn't it?
Oh,
There's some of
I
these-
was waiting for it.
Some of these, the titles absolutely turn me up. Here's one. Liver dumpling soup.
That sounds disgusting.
It doesn't it?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
But here's sauerkraut soup. And it's not, they're using water and a cup of sauerkraut. And that is not the way Grandma made sauerkraut soup, because she would always save the juice that she used that the sauerkraut was cooked in.
Yeah,
And then she
And
mixed
that's what
it
she used for the
with.
water.
And she mixed it with
what?
Eggs.
eggs are in it, yeah. I stayed away from it as far as I could.
It doesn't, because it just doesn't sound good. Sauerkraut juice mixed with eggs.
It doesn't look good.
I like that.
But it doesn't have to look good if it tastes good, right? No.
Did you have to acquire a taste for that?
Well, Grandma made it. She's telling me what they used to eat when she was a girl. And she said her mother would make sauerkraut soup. Zelnuku.
Zelnuku.
Velnaku.
Well,
She started making, I went back to her house for my noon meal at school, high school.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd have that fixed for me, and I just got really crazy for it.
another
As a high
thing,
school boy.
you saw the pictures of him with that gun?
Right?
Well, he'd go into the barn up in the hayloft,
That's why all those holes are up there.
and he would shoot pigeons. And our mother would say, "Get those things out of here." And Grandma cooked them or baked them or roasted them or did something for you with it, didn't she? Didn't she fix them?
Take him to town.
Took them to town and Grandma fixed them for you.
And I couldn't stand to eat them.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. All I know is that my mother wouldn't have anything to do with them. But then Grandma fixed them for you.
This was my father's excuse for buying a .22 rifle.
Get the
To shoot the pigeons?
Shoot the pigeons for a meal.
For a meal.
for a meal, huh?
So what, did Bohemians eat pigeons and Germans didn't, or?
Well,
They don't call it pigeon, they call it squab, don't they? There's a high-sounding
Yeah.
name, squab.
but what turned me off on the pigeons, I'd crawl up in the barn and get up in the cupola,
Mm-hmm.
and I could catch them without even shooting them.
Sure.
They'd fly out of there. But this cupola had a horrid smell.
Oh.
And so it smelled just like the pigeons were when Grandma cooked them.
So you couldn't eat them because that reminded you of it. So I suppose
Yeah.
you'd already smelled it's probably just really full of pigeon.
Can we please change the subject?
Oh, I think this is just fascinating. Because I don't plan on eating pigeons anytime soon, so.
My mother used to make a
I
liver
was just thinking
paste
maybe should.
A liver paste.
to put on bread.
Oh, I know. Oh, some of the.
Oh, yes.
And they didn't call it liver paste though. They had a Danish name called leverpostej. And it doesn't sound so bad when they say leverpostej. But liver paste, you know.
Do you know what was in it?
Pork livers, ground up
Cooked.
pork,
Cooked.
cooked.
They cooked it and then they ground it up.
Yeah.
She must have put something with it.
Make it stick.
Well, it's just like having Braunschweiger.
Yeah, I suppose it's kind of like brown sugar.
Maybe they put onions or something with it, or.
I think it was mostly just pork livers.
Are
I don't
you
know
kidding?
I don't know what else she used in there.
Yeah, what would she make it so it would be
Probably
paste
salt.
and
Jerry eat like.
stick together?
Once stuck together and made
Right.
paste, you spread it on bread. You could spread it that thick if you like it, you know.
You liked it.
Oh yeah.
Didn't it taste dry, kind of, or?
Well, dry, it's moist, salty. A
Now
little
this
salt in it.
recipe appeals to me much more.
I like the turkey and roast beef.
Potato dumplings.
Yeah. Oh,
Potatoes,
different time.
cooked, peeled, shredded,
different time.
add egg,
Everything but the
salt,
squeal.
flour.
Yeah.
The dough should not be sticky, yet it can't be too stiff. And then you roll it in long rolls, and then put it in boiling water, and then
Make
cook
it
it.
dumplings?
And then when they would be all cooked, then take them and dump them in this roaster that you'd done a pork roast in. And it had all the brown drippings on the bottom of it. Smile when you think of that. Doesn't that sound good?
The ladies nowadays try to make dumplings, but they really don't know how.
Well, and here's another recipe that's almost
Figures.
identical.
It's Dr. Carmen.
Are you talking about Barbara?
Did you
You're not talking about Barbara, are you?
You made a fry.
Did Barbara
The guy
try?
know
Carmen
I have no idea.
wants
Oh, Carmen
This
made it.
this is not a dumpling.
Was it like a baseball
So
bat?
basically what he says is, this is not sauerkraut soup.
Oh.
This is not a dumpling.
Well, what happened to the dumplings?
We changed. Things
Were they
changed.
hard? Were they?
I don't know what, but I'm sure they did get fried. I remember Mom frying potato dumplings, slicing them and frying them in butter.
We make a dough and
Yeah, she
Mix 'em
she
with eggs
boiled them
and flour.
first.
You boil them
and then
first,
she sliced
and then you
them
can
and-
eat them just that way.
just that way.
But we on Sundays they would be so good because they always did a pork roast or a beef roast or both, and then they would brown them a little bit
Sounds good.
in this brown stuff in the bottom of the pan.
Yeah, and the drippings.
The drippings. But then if there was some left over, then they were so good the next day, fried, warmed up fried.
Well, if there weren't enough fried potatoes to go around,
Then you'd add, yeah.
then you fry it.
Mm-hmm.
Fry that.
Put a little more eggs and a little more flour in.
Yeah.
So potatoes were a big part of the diet, but they were
Right.
also less inexpensive way to fill
That's
it
right.
up.
Except now, when you pay $4 for 5 pounds.
Is that what
only
potatoes
paid-
are up here?
We paid, they were on sale, weren't they? They were $3.
$80 a sack.
No, they're not that expensive in Owatonna, are they?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know about
There's
Owatonna, but they are
$60
here.
a sack right now.
$60 100.
They're more up here.
Must be the shipping. It's a long ways from
With
Anoka.
my Parkinson's, I
Price
lost
of
all
gas is high.
Sense of taste?
sense of taste or smell.
Mm-hmm. That's too bad. Because
It could be worse.
Mm.
I think I should close blood sausage.
Yummy.
That's not Czech. Can't be Czech.
Well, eat for yourself, kid. Did everybody have enough to eat?
Oh, on
Yes.
that note,
I'm short,
Okay.
I'm short of food.
You,
He's what?
he said he was short of food?
Short of food?
Jeez, Louise, what are we
Well, I
going to
don't
do
know.
about it?
We'll have to take him out in the kitchen.
bottomless pit, just can't fill them up. It's
Yeah.
teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Brian's like, Dad. Can't fill that
Bottomless
boy up. He's always hungry.
Brian is?
Yeah, he's always hungry.
That's Larry's boy.
Yeah,
He's like, what is, he's a teenager
he's
now.
going in 9th grade.
Oh my
That's
God.
But I
the
see
age.
that he eats an awful lot of ice cream.
Yeah, I think he likes.
Well,
he's like
then he
his,
takes
his
off-
uncles.
He takes after his grandpa if he eats a lot of ice cream.
His grandpa and his uncles both. I think all my brothers liked ice cream too.
I
Liked
mean,
ice cream.
I did too.
you remember you and Harold, when you'd go and have ice cream, you wouldn't buy, you'd each buy a pint. Because they sold ice cream in squares. You know, a quart square or a pint square, and you guys would buy pint squares and eat them.
That's 2
Well,
cups.
That's not that much to eat a pint.
That's 2 cups.
That's 2 cups, that's a lot.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, it's a
Jerry
heck of
didn't
a
think
lot more than a scoop.
so. Yeah.
When I drove to school, then I was giving Dick Sanders and Lester
Melby.
Melby. You remember before I had a chance. And we would treat each other when we come from school. I delivered them, took them a pint of ice cream or chocolate milk if I wanted it. Or we stop at Marigold Dairies and get our
That's right, we had a miracle dairy there.
Harold Barch was the delivery man. He was Droshik's husband.
Husband. Yeah, I remember that.
So you stop after school and have ice cream on your way home?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What did you drive then? The Chev? The 36 Chev?
No, we had the
Nash?
no, we had the AJ Soulful delivery truck.
Oh, you drove a truck?
The panel.
Why didn't you drive, why wouldn't he let you drive the car?
Well, the panel was there.
Oh. He
And
must
then
have,
I delivered the milk cream to the creamery
oh, you did?
On your way to school?
on the way to school. And I delivered potatoes and carrots.
On the
onions
way to school?
On the way to school.
Mike, well, didn't school start about 8:30?
20 minutes to 9.
And you had to get all this done before?
I just didn't make it to school.
I was just gonna say,
Little
you
bit
must
late.
have missed a lot of
I
school.
think he missed a lot of school. And in the fall, when they were harvesting potatoes
Well,
and
Then
onions,
I didn't go to school.
then you didn't even go to school. And Mr. Goody was the farm agent. Goody?
He was a farm agent.
Yeah. And then a lot of these kids would just love to come out and work. You know, our dad would go to town with a truck and pick up all these kids to work out, picking potatoes and stuff. So they got out of school.
Oh, that's the reason they
They
did
got
it. Not because
paid.
they got
And they
paid.
got
It was to
paid.
get out of school.
Yeah. And Harvey Ronglin,
Yeah.
who was in charge of, you know,
The West Hills, the
West Hills
orphanage,
the
yeah.
state school.
Mine's not.
And
little warm up?
No, thank you.
Okay.
and
I think Barbara likes
I
it.
never really, he graduated
It's
from high
good for your
school
Alzheimer's.
in my class. And I never really knew him too well.
Don't worry.
But I've gotten to know him through all these reunions, and he didn't even realize who I was, because there was the other show, the Fred and Clayton show that he loved, and he realized that I was from the farm, the truck farm, and so he was from the state school, but he remembered going out to the farm and working, picking up potatoes and stuff. And he had very nice things to say about our dad. 'Cause dad could be pretty tough. And kind of
growly.
Yeah,
I
and
never
it
thought he
kind
was
of,
mean.
He mellowed out by the time.
yeah,
He was tough, but also gentle.
yeah, you're right. But he could be kind of inconsiderate,
That's where Larry is right now.
tough for me.
Yeah.
Mean, tough.
He does a nice job. Everybody does their work.
So he's kind of
You know,
easygoing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that makes it easy to work with then, Jerry.
Yeah.
But I remember Grandpa yelling at the kids weeding onions. Get back here, you missed a weed.
Yeah.
Get back here.
Yeah. And yet he was I thought that sometimes he was nicer to the Mexicans' families than he was to the other workers. I mean, he went overboard helping. Was it the Garcia family?
Vargas.
What?
Vargas.
Vargas.
Katrina.
Okay. I mean, the mother was real sick, and then
That was the Garcias people.
and that was another family. In fact, he even handled the funeral and cemetery for the lady that died, and she's buried up here. And then I remember which family came up from Texas with their boy that had had an accident, or he had a real injured leg, a broken leg, or